Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel with Juliet Berlin. Today, I have Charlie Owen with me, who is an NLP practitioner. He works with Elizabeth and Walker, my teacher. I'm a huge fan of Charlie because I've been watching you, and I love how you cover your subjects with such articulation and deliver your point of view, especially about mindset. And I want to dive into that. I was doing some research recently, and in America, I looked at the research on self-made millionaires. And the only difference between self-made millionaire and non-self-made millionaire is a mindset. So it says 80% of success is mindset, 20% is skill. And the microphone is on you. What do you think?
Yeah, 100%. I'm so passionate about this because for so long going through school, like it was all skill set. That's where the emphasis is for a lot of young people. Going through school, like this is how you do this is how you regurgitate information. And then going through school, you don't realize how important mindset is. And I never heard that word once in school. Like it wasn't until 5 years ago, maybe, that I actually heard that word. It was only till I was in my late teens or early 20s, I actually heard the word mindset. And then that spiked my curiosity and I started looking into it more. Because through school, I was always like, we're just learning and learning and learning stuff. And I couldn't see the reason for why we were learning it. Like some of the things I couldn't see where it would fit into my life until I started learning about mindset and started going deep into who I was as a person. And after school, I always looked into stuff like make money online sort of things, learning all these skills, doing all these courses, these programs. I've tried every single thing online, learning all the skill sets possible, like the marketing stuff, the FBA, the affiliate marketing, the drop shipping, like all this. I was learning all these skill sets. And every time I got started, I'd get going. And then all of a sudden I'd just drop off and like I'd fail and then I'd give up. I'd fail and I'd give up. And it was this continuous cycle. And I was upskilling all the time in my skills. And I didn't realize it was the other part I was missing with the mindset.
You mean you were missing the 80%?
Yeah, 100%. I was missing the 80%. I was up to that 20%, but the 80% that actually makes a difference, like my character, how I bounce back from failures, that was missing. So I was just upskilling all the time. I'm forgetting about the mindset. So it wasn't until about 5 years ago where I started educating myself. Like I really believe personal education is the most important education, because you're force-fed information through school. And a lot of people, they actually don't like the idea of being educated or learning because they were forced to learn things they couldn't really care about. So until you start educating yourself on things that you're genuinely interested in, that's where the real education begins. And that's where you can really start building your mindset. And now I'm so passionate about helping others develop their mindset, especially as young as possible. So they can, like, the trajectory of their life, the younger you learn this stuff is incredible.
So when you noticed that you were missing that 80%, what was the steps that you took from that 20%? You were fully skilled, you learned everything possible, physically, humanly you can do. When did you make the switch? Like, what was your aha moment? Okay, now I need to really look into what is this mindset, quote unquote. So what was that for you when you started it? What did you start it with?
It was changing my environment. So I'm from a super small town back in the UK. And for 22, 23 years, that's all I knew. I was just stuck in that town. And it was just repetitive, going over and over again, like Groundhog Day, living the same thing every day, surrounded by the exact same people. And it wasn't until I went traveling, I went to Asia for a month or two, and it really opened my mind to different perspectives and different ways of living. And like meeting different people, it really blew my perspective out of the water from being in this small town to being in this massive ocean where there's so much more possibility. And then from that, I started searching online for different role models, like the Ty Lopez, the Gary V, the Tony Robbins, started coming across these types of people. And I was like, oh, there's something here. Like these people are so happy. They're so successful. What is this? And it was the mindset side of things. And then from there, I really started I see success like a tree. Like you've got the ground and then people want results, which is the tree coming out, but they forget about the roots. like all the self work you need to do before you get the results. So it's like knowing your identity, your values, your beliefs, your purpose, getting your habits, your discipline, your focus, like working on this stuff, like the roots under the ground, so that you can create this giant tree that could go all the way to heaven. But your roots must go to, they say like for a tree to grow to heaven, its roots must grow to hell.
Yeah.
But by hell, it means the depth of your soul. So it's figuring out who you are as a person. So really diving into who you are, so you can align that with what you want. And then that really, like, it becomes easy then. It doesn't become forced.
I'm actually like hearing you say, whatever you've been through before you went to Asia, that small mindset setup, actually grow your roots because your foundation was so deep into one belief. It was easier for you to build up on that building, on that foundation. So for me personally, if I didn't go through the hard times, I would not be here today. So I take all those teachings as my foundation. Okay, if I fail, I know what to do. If this doesn't go right, I know what to do. You know, it's kind of like preparing for you the next step. So everything is a blessing. I take everything as a blessing. So once you change your environment, and then did you change your habits? And what part of personal development did you go into before you found NLP?
So in that stage of like the hardships create the biggest lessons for you, I traveled across the world. I was in Australia and I just come out of a 7-year relationship. So it was a big change. And I moved to a new city where I didn't know anyone. So I was really like struggling. I was at the lowest point in my life. And then that's when I actually started reading books on personal development enough. And a lot of people don't start personal development until they get sick enough of their own shit. So they get so, yeah, exactly. Some people get so like depressed and at such a low point, and then they start. So it's really being reactive instead of proactive with their mindset. Like physical fitness, you wouldn't wait until you had a heart attack to start working out. You work out so you don't have a heart attack. But so many people wait until they're depressed or suicidal to actually reach out for help. And that was me. I got to such a low point in my life where I was like, cool, what am I going to do here? So I started reaching out to better people, like people talking about meditation and reading and journaling and stuff I never heard of before. So I really started getting around that and started implementing these practices. And meditation was the biggest one to begin with, because I was so in my own head with things from the breakup and negative thought patterns I was in. I started meditating for 10 minutes a day. And my friend got me into it. He's like, meditate. I did it once. I was like, no, it doesn't work. And then I started doing it over and over again. And in 2-3 weeks of meditating daily, it actually gave me distance from my thoughts to question the thoughts and see which ones are going to better serve me going forward. So that was my first form of personal development, really. Meditation, becoming aware of my thoughts. That's really the first stage of any growth, is becoming aware of who you are right now.
Yeah, watching your thoughts.
100%.
It's so funny how our brain is so rewired to think negative.
Yeah, 100%.
I would tell people it's a survival mechanism. Of course, it's going to create the worst case scenario so you don't go jump off a bridge. I was saying our brain is wired for literally negative mindset. Tell us why.
It's the default mindset. It's the human condition to never be satisfied. And it's like human evolution is based on humans being unhappy. Like if humans were happy for the history of mankind, we'd probably still be cavemen because we wouldn't have a reason to get better. The only reason humans have evolved so much is because we have consciousness, so we can question what's outside of ourselves. So we have questions like, we can have a better life than this. We want more. We want more. And that constant generations of constant dissatisfaction has created this massive evolution over time to where the human race is now compared to other animals. And it's the absolute human condition. Like people say you deserve to be happy. I don't believe everyone deserves to be happy. If someone's eating fast food, watching pornography, not doing anything with his life, playing video games, no sunlight, poor diet, it's like, does that person deserve to be happy? Well, no, because they're not doing the things that actually make humans happy. So humans actually have to make a conscious effort to be happy every single day, or they default back to the default of unhappiness for their survival and evolution.
Yeah, that's what I believe also. I believe also that since the brain is a saving mechanism, like its job is to keep us safe and alive.
Yeah.
It tend to go to the worst case scenario all the time.
Yeah, it's survival mode.
Yeah.
Because the human brain hasn't evolved so much. Like the humans have been around 300,000 years or whatever date you want to put on that. And like consciousness or like questioning our thoughts, the internet and all these new things, like they're so new compared to the history of mankind. But our brain is still so hardwired from the past that we still think we're getting chased by bears. We have to survive. We have to hunt for food. So when someone, like if a boss yells at you or if someone says something nasty, we still think that's like a threat to our life. That's fight or flight for us. So it's continuously sparking this stress response because we're still in survival mode. And we're the first creature in 4 billion years since the Earth's been about that can focus on evolution rather than survival, because every creature ever is focused on survival as its main thing. But humans are so far away from survival now that we can actually start focusing on evolution and going for more and more and more. And your life depends on how much time you spend in evolution or survival. If you're constantly stressed out, if you're constantly unhappy, that's you in survival mode rather than realizing that you are so far away from that and you get to focus on evolution and the things that actually make you happy.
Yeah. So what do you recommend if someone came to you? You are working as a coach, I believe, right? Besides working with Liz for NLP, Master Prac and Prac. So as a coach, if someone comes to you and they're ready, they're committed, they want to make a change, what do you start them with? Changing the environment or?
The three main things I focus on is who are you, what do you want, and what's holding you back. So everything revolves around that. So it's like, who are you? So that's your identity, your values, and your beliefs. Like everything that's come before you, like has created the person you are now. So figuring out who you are, defining a starting point to your life, and then figuring out what you actually want. So many people are sleepwalking through life and they just end up in some random place in the future and they're unhappy with it. It's because they haven't been intentional with their life. Whereas if you can find out exactly who you are, your identity, your values, your beliefs, and align that with the future you want, a future that actually excites you to get out of bed every morning, then that's going to cure so much of this mental health stuff, like the depression, the anxiety. That's when people aren't clear about what they want. So the day-by-day actions don't mean anything because they don't know where they're going.
Yeah.
So it's who they are and what they want based on their values, and then what's holding them back. So we find out the beliefs, and then the belief is created from a previous event that they've attached a meaning to, and that's a lens they live their life through. So it's really questioning those old beliefs that aren't serving where they want to go in life. And so many people like, I'm not good enough, I can't be successful. And they never stop to question these beliefs. And it's like, people question all their beliefs except those they truly believe and those they never think to question.
Yeah.
And so many people never question these beliefs. They just take it as normal, and that's normal life to them.
To be honest, with the third one, finding out what's holding you back.
Yeah.
Consciously, I was not even aware until I've done NLP training and the processes. I was not aware that I'm not good enough was holding me back. So sometimes we don't even realize, but it's in our speech, the way we talk about our future or the way we talk about the past. The coach understands because the way of we question people now when they come to us. Until I was aware of it, I did not know that was holding me back. So that's why we do coaching. Also, the second part, knowing where you're going. I always tell my clients, always, like when you go in your car, if you don't know where you're going, when you're going to know that when you arrived, like there's an arrival point. So you put in your GPS and you work backwards. So every day when you wake up, you know exactly where you want to end up. You take action towards that goal. These are great. So what's your program like? How people can find you? I believe that a lot of young people works with you.
Yeah, I have I work one-on-one and also in group programs. I've sort of moved away from one-on-ones into group programs.
You
So it
did.
really creates that environment to change. And I utilize all the NLP techniques within groups. So like the ECT,
Yeah.
like the timeline therapy sort of ECT.
Yes.
And then like the goal setting and changing the belief systems and the values and identity, like all that self-discovery stuff.
Yeah.
I do that in group programs. And then like real goal setting, like you said, living that intentional life. You can't hit a goal that doesn't exist. And a lot of people never feel successful because they haven't defined what success is for them. So how are you going to know until you define what that is for you?
Yeah. And having a goal every day when you do something, actually you have something to measure progress. People thrive on that. Humans thrive on progress. I'm a living proof. So something else that you did not share, you help people create a foundation for their businesses too.
Yeah, so I recently ran a group container. It was an 8-week container and for new coaches, and there's a combined $500,000 container. So brand new coaches made $500,000 in 8 weeks.
Amazing.
And that's like, you can talk about money, but money is just an impact indicator. So think how many people they have helped with that. You can be the best coach in the world, but if nobody knows who you are, it doesn't make a difference. So it's implementing all this knowledge they have into systems that they can actually help people. Because unless you speak to people, you won't be able to help them. So it's really giving them the foundation, like the social media presence and the confidence to get on discovery calls and sell people and feel good about selling, knowing that it's helping people.
Yeah.
So starting a business is the most spiritual thing you can do in a way, because it's such a reflection of your own self-worth. You being able to sell is such a reflection of your own self-worth. And a lot of people are scared to sell because they haven't seen the value in themselves. But when you start charging $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for your product, which is you, that's when real self-worth comes. And that's when other people start to value you as well. And that's where real results are created, when people start to value you and you start to value yourself.
Yeah. So what I like about your work is, recently I was talking to my sister, she's in Turkey, and I wanted to send her some money as a gift because I'm happy and I wanted to share. I said, where should I send it? She said, I don't have PayPal. I don't have Venmo. I said, okay, if you don't have the vessel to receive, doesn't matter what you do in your home, you're not going to be able to receive. So as coaches or as someone who's just starting a business, having these foundations in place before you start, because when you start, it happens literally so fast, then they don't get to be overwhelmed. They can just flow because all the foundation is there. Your money, your taxes, your website, your newsletter. So this is exactly what you do with the fundamentals, which I would love to share that, because there's so many people out there who are new coaches and leaders help other leaders. So I would love to put that out. If you work with any coach besides NLP, you work with anyone?
Yeah, I work outside of NLP. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah. So I'm so happy we get to talk. I'm so happy I get to share your gift with my growing audience.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I love sharing this information, and there's actually some of my audience members are going to the NLP training.
Amazing.
It's changing lives by the minute, and I'm so grateful to Liz and you and everyone in the team. So is there anything you would love to share from your heart with whoever is watching this? They clicked, they need help, and they're looking for that inspiration. A
great question that our friend Danny Redbad always poses is, how can I be feeling more joyous right now? And it's a great question, because realize how much control you have over your life, in the sense that you get to choose whatever reality you want to see. And we talk about like life's a simulation. It is in a way, because your brain has never seen the outside world. bases the outside world on feedback you give it through your senses. And based on your beliefs and your values, you make those senses mean something. So every external event, you make that mean something. So you get to choose your reality, which is amazing. So if you're not currently enjoying your reality, you get to choose that by doing the work, by looking at your values and your beliefs. And you get to choose how you want to feel and the direction you want to go with your life. So just know how much control you have over your life and where you're going. And then, yeah, just experience more joy. And it gets to be that easy.
Yeah. How old are you, Charlie?
26.
You're 26. If you were to live till 100, you have many, many, many years ahead of you. I'm over 40, and I always tell my clients, if I were to live till 100, I want the rest of my years to be the way I want it. So for the fact that you're helping a lot of young people to wake up, and smell the roses and let them know that life is actually fun if you choose to be. This is amazing. I'm very grateful for people like you.